Well, this video is going to have very little pizzazz to it, very little graphics to it, because the original source videos that I'm going to be commenting about have no pizzazz or graphics to them. But there is one part in the middle that I'll tell you when to take a look at it. The rest of it, all you have to do is just listen to it. Well, the other day I was searching through the newest Flat Earth videos, and I came across this one by YourCurvelessEarth. And I wanted to see what he had to say because obviously the picture shows the absolutely awesome 3D representation of the claimed Flat Earth map, but it was obvious that this video was going to critique it, so I gave it a look. YourCurvelessEarth decided he was going to break the video down into 7 points. I'm not going to show you the video because the video is nothing more than this one single screen capture. So let's hear what he has to say.
All right, so let's get into it. He's got at least 7 points of which I'm going to address here.
Very poorly addressed.
So the first one is no southern constellations visible.
Right. This means that people in the northern hemisphere, or excuse me, north of the equator on the flat Earth map, for some reason are not able to see most of the constellations to the south.
My response is I don't quite understand this point.
Of course you don't.
However, if David Ridlin is meaning that the southern constellations would not be visible solely because we are on a flat plane as opposed to a spherical globe,
No, that's not what he was saying. He was saying that they should be visible on the flat plane, which they are not. But you're not the first flat earther to twist words up.
this is asinine. The reality is that the southern constellations are visible on the flat plane Earth we live upon.
Really? So you actually have photographs, or some kind of photographic evidence, of Sigma Octantis, sometimes called the South Star, from, let's say, I don't know, anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. New York, Florida, anywhere in Europe, Asia. You have this, of course, right?
In fact, his model of the stars being above and below the flat plane Earth are ridiculous and a disinformation tool.
Actually, the only disinformation here, and the only ridiculous claim, is that he has stars below the flat plane on the model. There are stars at the edge, none of them below it. Nice try.
Number 2, he says, stars would never appear to rotate clockwise around a south celestial pole.
Right. All kinds of star trail photos that everybody has, and everybody has access to. Yeah, they show that it seems to rotate around the center just like Polaris does in the north. I can't wait to hear your answer.
My response is,
Wait for it.
who says there is a South Pole?
Who says that the South Pole has anything to do with the claim?
What year and by whom did a complete traverse that began in the North Pole and went through the alleged South Pole and then back to the North Pole? Anyone? No one.
And while all that is a very interesting question, off the top of my head, I don't even have an answer for it, except for the fact that I know you can fly around the South Pole tourist flights from Australia. But again, what does that have to do with the star trails? But it sure was nice to hear you try.
His point number 3. Since the moon remains above the night side, it could never be illuminated by the sun. A 32-mile wide moon is too small and dark to see. Spherically radiating sunlight could not naturally illuminate only half a disk of time zones. Sun and moon must be enlarged to 160 miles wide to match the size we actually see. The moon reflectance is increased 100 times, normal to be seen. At 3,000 miles high, the sun would be visible 24 hours a day. My response is, not so fast, David Ridlin. Yes, it can still be illuminated by the sun. While taking into account distance of the moon and the sun from the flat plane Earth, it makes complete sense
Oh, really?
that some sun rays could still travel above our heads in the heavenly sky.
Careful now. You're going to get close to breaking the vanishing point rule. Okay, so if sunlight can travel above our heads in the sky and then reflect off of the moon and make it all the way back down the other 3,000 miles back down to us, why is it that we can't see the sun directly because the light would have traveled a shorter distance?
Also, depending on the substance of the moon, it may consist of a highly reflective material.
Even if the moon was made of a mirror, it still would not account for the fact that the light that has traveled halfway across the world from the sun to the moon and then reflected off the moon and come back down another 3,000 miles, why again wouldn't you see the sun directly?
The waning of the moon throughout the month is caused by nothing more than parallax and perspective.
Parallax and perspective. Hey, you're almost right on that.
Additionally, Please share your math calculations used to derive the following statement made by you, which is Sun and Moon must be enlarged to 160 miles wide to match the size we actually see, and moon reflectance is increased 100 times normal to be seen.
As far as the size increase and the increased intensity of illumination, this has to do with the vanishing point rule. Flat earthers want you to believe that the sun and moon do not actually go down below the horizon. What they actually do is they move too far away to see. If that be the case, then the moon and the sun would have to increase in size as they move further away. And because of the fact that the vanishing point claim also dictates that light at that point would no longer be seen by the sun or the moon, the intensity would have to amplify to 100% or even greater for it still to be visible as it is at the same time disappearing. And if that makes sense, but at the same time doesn't make sense, then you understand why vanishing point is just a bunch of crap.
Your fourth point, stars, sun, and moon would appear to shrink and decelerate when moving away and would appear to grow and accelerate when moving closer. So my response is, interestingly, you are correct that the sun does appear smaller the further away it is from the observer, and then larger the closer it is to the observer.
No, it doesn't. There's no other way to put that. Mind backing that up with something? Because I've heard that claim a couple of times, and I've seen time lapses of the sun coming up and sun going down, where the glare increases as less and less atmosphere is between the observer and the sun, but it didn't change in size at all.
As for the acceleration and deceleration as the heavenly bodies approach and then move away from the observer, it makes zero sense, because the distance at which they are from us.
It makes 100% sense.
Now, please back up your statements with logic.
A flat earther said logic. If you're standing on a sidewalk and a car drives past you, remaining at a consistent speed, that car driving past you will appear to increase in size and will also appear to increase in speed. Once it passes you, it will then appear to decrease in size and also decrease in speed, whereby it actually doesn't, but perspective makes it appear so. Something that doesn't happen on a daily basis on planet Earth.
You clearly do not understand perspective.
Nah, I'm sorry, bud, but it's really you that doesn't understand perspective.
Additionally, your models are not built to scale and do not account for the observer's perspective.
Oh my god, did you just yo mama this? It's not to scale? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me compose myself. Please provide a scale model of the flat earth, and then we can all work from that. Or are you going to come out with the we're still working on it? If you're still working on it, you don't know the sizes and scales yourself. So just hush.
Your point number 5. Different sides of the moon would be simultaneously viewable from different continents.
Yep.
So, according to the scale of your visual aid,
Again with the scale thing, dude. I don't see anything in your video showing comparisons or backing up your claims, so.
which also neglects to account for perspective,
Neglects to account for perspective. That's funny. In other words, he didn't hide things.
then you would be 100% correct. Except your visual aid is obviously inaccurate. Nice try.
That is probably the worst deflection I've heard of that claim. Because he has an inaccurate model. Okay, well let's bring this into accuracy for you. If you are standing on one side of the road and you are looking at a traffic light, you can see the lights glaring right at you, red, yellow, green, whichever color it is at that moment. Now pretend that you are standing at that moment in the northern hemisphere, and the moon, in this case the traffic light, is directly over the equator. Now if you walk to the other side of the street and looked up at that same traffic light, now you're in the southern hemisphere. At that exact same moment, you're now looking at the backside of the moon. Or, in this case, the traffic light. You can't even see the lights going off. That's what this is. It has nothing to do with the scale of somebody's model, which you guys don't have. So let's, once again, you give no answer. That's fine, I guess. Whatever works for you guys.
Number 6. The sun and moon could never appear near horizon.
Oh, here comes the proofless perspective version from flat earthers who use it to, I don't know, make things disappear whenever they feel like it.
Again, you do not understand, or at the very least convey, the simply and most commonly understood principle of perspective. Look into it.
Oh, perspective. Basically, all perspective is the 3D version of line of sight. Line of sight does not change.
Your point number 7. If the sun set below sea level, the entire world would go dark at once. Wrong again. You still misrepresent perspective.
Wrong again, because reasons. Still waiting for that perspective definition there, bud. That's all the more I'm really going to do on this video because those are the only real points that he made. Well, except for the fact that he did say this.
Please put together your own independent research video, publish it to YouTube that shows without a reasonable doubt that standing water bends or curves.
Oh, how I love this argument. Did you know that water actually by itself kind of wants to be round? Don't believe me? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, for those of you who are just listening, this was the part where you need to watch the video.
If you can do that, I promise I will shut down my YouTube channel. I promise I will shut down my YouTube channel.
Water by itself surrounds itself, as seen in countless water drops. Whether rain or drips in water, or drips in any liquid for that matter, water wants to be round. It's only pulled downward by gravity. But in suspension, it wants to be round, all by itself.
If you can do that, I promise I will shut down my YouTube channel.
I'll be looking forward to your shutting down of your channel. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Sly, why are you even bothering with this guy? He's not saying anything new. He's not saying anything that we haven't all heard 1,000 times before without any evidence to back it up. Well, it's simple. I wrote all this out in a comment to him, and because he, quote unquote, does not have a channel for debate, he muted my comment. Note, he didn't delete it, he muted it. Something he seems to be rather proud of doing because he now has 9 episodes of videos on how many people that he has put on his mute list. Yeah, that's pretty sad, dude. It doesn't seem like you're in much search of truth, more like you want to dictate truth, but, you know, what do I know? I'm just a realistic person. But anyway, after I had posted that comment, he decided to come back at me and make a video about my $5,000 loser pays flat earth bet. Which I found to be really funny that he chose that particular one because there's nothing that he can say or do about any of the other videos that I have produced. Because this video, which has not yet been answered by one single flat earther as far as taking the challenge, which is already proof in itself that y'all really don't believe this crap. Because if you did, you see, if somebody told me, I'll bet you $5,000 that you can't prove anything about the globe, I would take the bet, you see? I would actually take it. In fact, I've taken 3 of them now. I took the one from Casey Josh, who decided that he was not going to respond. I took the one from that publishing company who has a blog as their store, who probably hasn't sold but maybe about 30 books, but it claims to have $100,000 available for proof of the globe. I took that one. They didn't answer. Yeah, and there was like 1 or 2 other ones. I just don't even have them off the top of my head anymore because I stopped taking y'all's challenges because you don't even believe the shit that you're selling. Anyway, he came at me on my video, and well, here I'll just give you the audio here because again, it was another video with nothing to back up anything, just a guy blowing hot air. And please also note his happy tone that was in the last one of haha I got you has turned to a more frustrated tone because of the fact that I basically answered all the questions that he had quite easily and quite simply. Seemed to have gotten him mad.
Hey, welcome to Your Curveless Earth, where one truth exposes 1,000 lies. And I wanted to address Sly Sparkane. And this dude, what a shill, what a disinformation YouTube avatar he is.
Well, let's see. If you want to call me a shill, you have to prove that I'm actually a shill. A shill is a paid person who is there to deflect people away from something else. It's usually a professional term. It means somebody who goes into a store and gets people away from that store to make them go to another store, blah, blah, blah. Got proof of that, right? I mean, because I'm expecting a rebuttal on this. You got proof of that, right? Uh, Go ahead, give me your proof.
I want you to go check out his Flat Earth $5,000 bet, Loser Pays.
Thanks for the free plug.
I want you to notice that in this challenge, he does not at all specify what the challenge is.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Didn't say anything about what the challenge was. Nope. 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 Didn't say anything about the requirements either. No. No. Wow. I think you got me, man.
He basically asks you to commit to a challenge without understanding all of the requirements. Only a fool would agree to such terms. Sly, you obviously think of yourself as very sly.
Well, it is my name.
You obviously have no truth in you with these videos.
Nope. Not much truth in mine. Lots of facts, though.
Because if you did, you would disclose all of your requirements.
Kind of like you did with all of your disclosure of what perspective and scale are, I guess.
Obviously, this bet has already passed its limits.
Well, actually, it's still open. Yeah, I did say I wanted it done before Christmas then because I was hoping to get my kids something nice. But I haven't deleted it, so where you at, man? Bring it on.
Nor would any idiot take you up on it.
You're right. No flat earth idiot has taken me up on it yet.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you decided to put out a video trying to put a bet on me.
Well, that's not exactly putting the cart before the horse, is it? You're the first person who's ever made a video about that bet, and you're not trying to provocate or debate anything now, are you? See, doesn't that I think there's a word for that. Starts with an H, ends with hypocrite.
But I'm not playing with your games.
Funny, nobody asked you to.
I've already put out my own documentation showing my proofs and where I stand.
Yep, you put out videos showing how you like to block people from your YouTube channel. Not really supporting your cause, buddy.
This is not about the money, this is about the truth.
Couldn't have said it better myself, except for I would have swapped the word truth for fact.
Oh, and by the way, I saw another video that you put out, and yes, you do have ads running on your own videos.
Never said I didn't have ads on my stuff. Not once. I was just trying to simply define exactly why people would put out this flat earth stupidity, and then it hit me that was pretty simple. People are making money off of it. Even though I've only made about $4 off my stuff because more people watch controversy than they do fact, especially in today's world.
Yes, everyone is working while they're putting these videos out, and you also understand that it is your time. So yes, you have put ads and enabled monetization, as anyone with common sense would do so. So just because someone has ads running on their video doesn't make them all about the money. It's their time that they're investing their own energy into this, just as you are, but obviously in a much more shillish way.
You can go on and on and on about whatever you want to, dude. I made this video because I'm not a particular fan of people muting my comments, which tends to be the source of some of my videos, because I believe that most information can be shared quite quickly and quite rapidly in a handful of sentences. Something that you apparently don't seem to like to do. You like to put out information and then only allow those back in to comment on it who kiss your ass. Sounds a little bit like, I don't know, Russian vids, Thrive and Survive. Jeranism actually does let a couple through, but not recently. You can forget Dubay. Dubay's made more money off of this than all of us put together. I really only have a couple of words for you, man. If you're looking for truth, you got to hear both sides of the story and gain the wisdom from that. And that wisdom is gained only by the facts, not just your presupposition of what the truth really is. And by the way, I don't have you muted on my channel. I don't know why you haven't come over there. No, you'd rather fire from afar and then control what kind of response gets made. And while I accept the fact that that's completely within your right, I think it makes you hypocritical, makes you a bit of an intellectual wuss, and quite honestly, was hardly even worth the time of me making this video, but because of the original subject matter, which was 3D work, which I personally thought was awesome, I guess I could just sum this up by saying, kiss my ass. I look forward to your responses. Go ahead and debunk anything of mine. Go ahead. Anything. I got over 60 videos in there. Oh, and by the way, when you come over to my channel and you want to debunk anything, make sure that you bring your facts with you and be prepared to explain everything that you say. You can't just say perspective without explaining what should be happening. You can't just say because or that the scale is wrong without giving me a proper scale. Keep to the subject matter. Bring it over to my channel if you don't want to debate on your channel. Stay away from the gravity ones though, because yeah, if you can't get past the sun and the moon, buddy, you're not ready for the advanced class. You have yourself a wonderful day.